Welcome to Dream Body Alchemy, the podcast that fearlessly explores empowering transformations by unlocking the dormant vitality within your DNA, reshaping your mindset and unveiling your true essence, propelling you towards profound healing and expansion. Join your host, Melissa Valentine, as you embark on this journey to rewrite your story, one of activation, body alchemy, and the unapologetic embodiment of your boldest self.
Welcome, all of you gorgeous humans. I'm so excited to have you here for our third podcast. My name is Melissa Valentine, and today we are going to be talking about how can you craft your very own bespoke transformational strategy, creating something custom to you and being able to dance with your own unique rhythms, your own aspirational goals. I would invite you to challenge yourself to step outside of your comfort zone. I want you to think about really embracing your authenticity. Why this is so important? Because when you are creating your own bespoke transformational strategy, when you're crafting this, the whole purpose of this is for you to fall in love with you, for you to fall in love with the process. It is not about becoming someone else. It's about how do I become more of me? I want you to take this invite to step outside of that comfort zone, and in each moment bring awareness to, if you are dimming your light, to fit in. Even if you're someone who has made it your mission to dance to the beat of your own rhythm, because that is one of my main callings. That is literally one of my themes, and I always kind of go back to my own experience because I've done so much work when it comes to my own blueprint, my own DNA, what I am here for. And this allows me to tap into and hopefully connect with other people on a deeper knowing level. This isn't just intellectual, this isn't just heart. This is a deep knowing, a deep resonance. And that is what I want to hit on today. How do we harmonize with our bodies, with our spirit, to create this process that we fall in love with, to create our dream bodies, our dream life? We're going to talk about 5 areas that I like to focus on, and it will transform your experience because you are going to fall in love with yourself even more and the process. And this is what makes this permanent. Number 1, when you are creating this strategy for yourself, especially if you are a female, we have our own cycle. Understanding how your hormones are going to affect you differently on a week-to-week basis, and honoring these differences, because there's so many other things, so many benefits that come along with this hormone fluctuation, the ebbs and flows. So I have a book called The Dream Body Method where I dive in deeper, and you can get that free. I'll obviously have a link that you can grab that, or you can always go to dreambodyalchemy.com where I have all the ways you can work with me and all the free resources, including this book. But I talk about how our cycles are going to affect how we work out on a week-to-week basis. But we are interjecting resistance to it, that is going to cause stress. And the hormone cortisol is what is linked to stress. And this hormone is going to affect our other hormones. It's going to affect our emotions. It's even going to affect our energy and our thoughts. So we want to make sure that we understand what's going on in each phase. A lot of us know during the bleed is more of a nurturing phase where we take a step back, where we might not go as hard. And then the week after our period is an epic week. If you're someone who likes to lift weights, which I suggest everyone does because it affects your metabolism, it affects your lean mass, it's going to affect your youth, the way your skin looks, your biological age, it affects your biology. During that second week is such a good time to tap into the go-getter, your challenges. In maybe a later podcast, we'll talk about how this cycle affects your relationships, your career, your self-care. Are you really focusing on pushing it in the gym? Or is this going to be a better time for you to sit back and journal and stretch and maybe get a sexy massage or eat some chocolate? After the second week, you go into your third week, which is ovulation. This tends to be the time when we're glowing, we're more social. We want to be out there. We might actually look our best, but there is a conflict here where a lot of people say this is a time where you should be pushing yourself. And I would disagree because of what's happening hormonally. If you push yourself during this ovulation time, this is going to affect your progesterone, which is the calming hormone, which we want to be increasing. And so we might feel really great, but if we push ourselves too hard in the gym, examples, high intensity interval training or running, doing sprints, any of those things, that will spike our cortisol, which is going to affect our progesterone. And our progesterone needs to peak, which is again the calming hormone. And if it doesn't peak, then it's not able to counteract the estrogens that come into our bodies. And this can have a whole host of negative effects. One is it causes hormonal disruption. It can cause cancer because, as a lot of you might know, that increased estrogen has been linked to getting cancer and a host of different things. You know, stress is the number one killer in women. Stress hormones, negative emotions, all of these things affect us chemically. So again, that goes back to the hormones. And then the last week is really going to depend on how well you took care of yourself during the other times. What you eat, how you move, the practices that you have to take care of yourself are all going to be affected by your hormones. So that's number one. And that is going to affect women who still have their periods. It's going to be a little bit different for women who are in menopause. But when I work with women, even when they're in menopause, there's such thing as a diet break, which I align with our hormones because there's a good time to take diet breaks. This has also been shown to help you increase your metabolism, help you lose more fat and build more muscle. So the same kind of breaks can be accounted for even if you don't have a cycle, but it's more important when you still do so that you are not causing long-term damage and illness in the form of stress and disharmony in the hormones. Number two, the thing that I really want you to take note of that people do not take note of. Everyone's like, here's the physical, here's the mental, even here's the spiritual. But here I want to isolate the energetic types. So we talked a little bit about this in the first episode of this podcast, your unique energetic essence. If you want to learn more about that, if you want to go in depth, go check out that first podcast. But here we want to be focusing on your specific energy type. This is going to affect how you digest. This is going to affect how you move. This is going to affect how you take care of your energy. Your energy affects everything. And your energy is going to go hand in hand with number three, which is the emotions. So this is going to, there's overlap in these. But when I talk about the second step in this, I'm talking about your human design blueprint. I'm talking about your gene keys. I'm talking about how energetically you are meant to be in this world and how you need to take care of that. The signs that you get in your body when you are not listening and following your energetic type, your energetic strategy. So when I talk about energetics, I'm talking about even like your diet. So like I'm someone who can eat the same breakfast for years, the same lunch for years. I can eat the same things. I can taste something and know if it is good for my body. Other people, depending on their energetic type, and there's plethoras of different ways. One of my friends, I haven't told her yet. I'm going to probably tell her after this because I was doing one of her readings because that's what I do. I'm a total nerd and I spend most of my time researching, reading, learning. That is probably why I'm an entrepreneur, because I do enjoy spending all my time doing this. But her energetic blueprint says she thrives on cold foods. Someone else is going to thrive on being very meticulous and eating at the exact same time. Some people are the exact opposite. It will cause them stress to eat at the same time the same foods, that they really need to be tapped more into how they're feeling when they are hungry. And they need to focus more on just stopping when their body says they are done. So they're not meant to eat breakfast, lunch, and dinner at the same time. They're more meant to go with the flow depending on what their energetic needs are for that day. It's not something that you just tell someone and go, okay, this is how you eat. This is a knowing. So think if I gave you a blueprint and said, this is what is going to resonate most with you. This is how you're going to be the most vital. And I call these your vitality codes. This is how you're going to best live your life, feel your best, feel your most vital, your most energy. It's going to come the most natural. This is something that's going to feel like a relief, like a nice exhale, because when society tells you you need to be eating and doing something a certain way, and it feels like there's resistance in you, it's because it's not meant for you. And when you get that validation, that confirmation, that inner knowing, things become easier, and it's so much easier to love the process and yourself because you're no longer fighting what you already intuitively know. The energetic type is going to affect your digestion, the way you move, the way you exercise, how you know when you are in alignment, when you are doing the things that are in alignment with your energy. It is literally going to be your life force, and it's going to be your compass. Number 3, we want to focus on the emotions specifically. Emotions align with your energy. So when I think about emotions, I think of emotions, energy, consciousness. Because when you have really low emotions, you're no longer conscious. You're kind of stuck. You're stuck in a way of thinking, you're stuck in a way of feeling, and it can be very addictive. So the third thing you want to do is you want to determine where you are on an emotional scale, on this energy scale. Now, someone that I like to reference, and I've read his book at least 50 times. I have a whole module where I break down every single energy level into very distinct emotions, activities, the conversations you might be having, the people you might be hanging out with. It's a scale that allows you to be able to determine where you are, where other people are. And it allows you to understand where people are coming from. So it's not a situation where you're trying to figure out if someone's right or wrong or good or bad. It's just where are they? And you're allowed to understand people. You can understand yourself. You want to understand where you are emotionally, and being able to release a lifetime of unresolved negative emotions because they are stored in your body. If you research neurolinguistic programming, it can talk about how these emotions are stored in the body and how they keep coming up to be resolved. And so this takes a lot of energy out of you So once you can release these unresolved negative emotions that are stored in your body, it is going to free up so much life force energy that you're going to have so much more energy to work out, to focus, to be in flow. You're just going to feel more resonant with a higher vibration. And getting rid of low level energy and emotions like guilt, shame, fear, hurt, comparison, anger, and frustration, cravings. You can energetically measure cravings, which is in between anger and fear. It's about 125. You can see where these specific emotions are and how they resonate in the body, and learn how to not only release those, but learn how to process them so that you are not having cravings, so you're not feeling frustrated, and realizing, now this is a point that I really want to hit home, is that your emotional consistency, where you resonate most frequency, and it is a range, and it can be a big range, but some people consistently are at very low levels, some are at mid-low levels, some are at consistent, they're more content in life, and some are higher, which is what I call where the dream body measures at, in the high 300s, where you are resonating with health and wealth, vitality, where things flow to you easily, where you are in alignment with your dream body, where there isn't resistance because you have so much vital life force energy and you're not being pulled down by these low level emotions and energies. Not to mention, which we're going to talk next, is about the mental component. We're talking about your beliefs, your thoughts. Now, this is something that is very familiar to me because when I first started out on my journey, what happened is I did the mindset work, I did the rewiring, I did the programming to help me get rid of the victim mindset. I had my routine down. I knew my hinging points, like the things that I needed to feel good. I got into my routine of like, what makes me feel really good when I eat? But I did not realize in that moment that your thoughts, your beliefs, you can only hold on to thoughts and beliefs that resonate at the state that you are in. You can only hold on to thoughts and beliefs that resonate with the state you're in, which means energetically, emotionally, whatever energy level you're at, the emotions that you have, you cannot have thoughts and beliefs that resonate higher than that frequency. This is why your emotions, your energy, taking care of these things is so vital, because you can do all the rewiring work. But if your emotions are low level and you have this either addiction to them, or you have these emotions stored in your body that keep coming up to be processed, like the smallest thing can happen and you might have anger come up, or sadness, or hurt, or you find that you're addicted to these type of emotions, and you maybe not consciously but subconsciously search these events, circumstances out to evoke this emotion so that it can be pulled up and processed. Even if you're not processing, the subconscious will continue to do that. If you're not taking care of that, then you will have a very hard time maintaining the thoughts and the beliefs you need to have a long-term permanent behavior shift. So, talking about the mental portion of this, number 4 of the 5 major steps in creating your bespoke transformational strategy and really being authentic, is the mindset, is understanding the subconscious beliefs, the limiting beliefs, the disempowering beliefs that you're telling yourself on a day-to-day basis. Even the hardest thing with beliefs is that a lot of times we don't understand their beliefs. We believe that they are facts, that they are true, but beliefs are not true or false. It just depends on, are they serving you or not? So having beliefs and thoughts that serve you are going to help you stay consistent and have permanent results. But that is going to be dependent on your emotional frequency. That is going to be dependent on if you are practicing a strategy, a plan that's in line with your energy so that you're not resistant. Because if you're forcing yourself to do things on a day-to-day basis that goes against your blueprint, your vitality codes, it is going to be a constant struggle and you are going to resist. And lastly, we have identity. How you see yourself is going to be more important than anything else because you want to align with how you see yourself. So you need to see yourself as a healthy, fit person. You have to see yourself as confident. You have to see yourself as capable. You have to trust yourself, your path, your mission, your abilities. And a lot of this goes right back to not just human design, but this is when I like to bring in gene keys. This is when I like to bring in your DNA. This is when I like to really dig down deep and go, what is your purpose? What are your gifts? What is your genius? What are you here for? All of these steps are based on something called reality creation. So you have your behaviors and your actions, your energy and your emotions, then your thoughts, then your beliefs, then your identity. And I feel like it's so much easier to cling to an identity because you guys, it's just a character, it's just an avatar. You can change your identity at any point. Your true identity is not something you need to change, it's something you need to unbecome. It's conditioning from the outside world that has slowly chipped away at who we are at our core, our soul level, our inner child. So who we were when we were these itty bitty little tiny cute pudding pie faced little cherubs. This is who you are. The person who gave a smile to anyone, who always saw the good in people, who just emanated happiness and laughed at everything and moved around and was not concerned with how their body looked. They just loved their body. They loved their life. They loved people. They loved what they did every day. This is what we're going back to. So what you need to do is you need to be able to trust yourself. You need to be able to tap into your body, the feelings, your intuition, like really trusting your feelings. So when we go back to the emotions and the energetic type, a lot of it has to do with the inner compass and the feelings and the sensations, because that is where you are going to have your sounding board, your litmus test. It is constantly guiding you. And what you want to do is create a strategy that's in alignment with it. So whenever you feel that little tug of, I'm changing something, I'm doing something that doesn't feel right, you're probably correct. And you want to be able to get back to a place where you can trust yourself outside of what society is telling you. This is how you're going to create your bespoke transformational strategy. It's got to be 100% based on you. And you can do this. So, again, we have your hormones, we have your energetic type. You can look more into that in human design. You have your emotions and energy. Frederick Dodson's energy levels is a great chart to look into. You have your mindset. I help people rewire their mindset, but remember, if you don't have your energy in check, if you're not following the right program for you specifically, the mindset is really hard to get on board. And lastly, you have your identity. You have your alignment with your soul, with who you really are outside of conditioning. We're unbecoming the version of us that is just a character that is not based in our real reality of who you really are, because who you really are is who you were meant to come here as. And so anything that's taking you out of alignment is taking you away from who you're meant to be. Even if you feel like it's something you have to do, that you should do, I'm telling you, it is not something you have to do. You have a responsibility to yourself, to your inner child, to your soul, to your spirit, to find and align with that cadence. That is who you have an alliance to, is alignment with your true self. That is your true identity. Anything that you see in someone else that you either envy or you love about them, or you notice, you're like, oh, I love that about you. That is in you because you are a mirror. That is you. That is a part of you. So it's time to step outside of your comfort zone. Become radically authentic and real. And harmonize with your aspirations, with your goals, with your gifts, with your genius. And take the actions that are in alignment with who you are. Because when you take those actions, you are going to find flow. You're no longer going to have the resistance. You're not going to have this internal battle of, should I do this or should I do this? If there's something that's keeping you from doing what you feel like you need to do, there is a reason, and you want to figure that out. Trusting yourself is the name of the game. Tapping into your intuition, and these 5 strategies will help you create that strategy that you will love. It's about loving the process. It's about loving yourself. That is what I want for you. If you want more information, you can always grab the Dream Body Method book, which is at dreambodyalchemy.com. Everything is Dream Body Alchemy. And if you want to find out more about how you can work with me or join one of my programs that are coming up, please reach out. I would love to help you on your journey and help you love the process and become more you, more resonant with who you really are, and allow yourself to step into, align with, harmonize with your dream body in your dream life. Thank you guys so much for joining me on this 3rd episode of the Dream Body Alchemy Podcast. I hope you have an incredible day. Love you so much, and I will talk to you guys next week.
Thanks for listening to this episode of Dream Body Alchemy. If you liked what you heard, then be sure to hit like and subscribe. Got a burning question for Melissa or a topic you'd love her to discuss on the show? Get in touch. Follow us on YouTube, TikTok, and Facebook at Dream Body Alchemy and Instagram at Dream Body Alchemist. Until next time, keep on glowing and growing. You got this.